Pretty much it has to tell us that we're live. We're live now on MCU Mondays. Welcome to MCU Mondays. Hey. On this Monday night, as we usually do, we aim for a Monday night on MCU Mondays, but who knows what's going to happen. I'm your host, Chris, also known as Vase, because I'm full of shit. Not what you normally put in a vase, but you can put whatever you want in a vase. But my vase had, that's why his eyes are brown. Actually, my eyes are blue. Full of blue sky. Anyway, I'm joined here, as I always am on MCU Mondays, by my co-host, Debbie. Debbie! How you doing today? Debbie!
Yes?
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Ready to talk about some Moon Knight.
I'm excited to talk about Moon Knight. Now, are you one of the ones that's seen Morbius?
Yes.
So you've seen it. Okay, because we're going to briefly talk about that as well, ladies and gentlemen who are joining us as we get going here. We're going to briefly talk about Morbius. I haven't seen it. I don't think, David, you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it. No.
But Jonathan has seen it.
I have.
So we're going to have some spoiler-free reviews on that. We'll probably have another full-on review of that at some point, but we're going to have spoiler-free reviews of that, and then we're going to jump right in and talk about Moon Knight, which I am very excited to talk about. But so I said me, and I said Debbie, but also down over there is David. How are you doing, David?
Good.
Glad you could be here today. You had a situation with a HOA.
A HOA, yes.
A HOA that
I sit on our HOA board, so we were
HOA. And now for anyone who's very confused, Homeowners Association, not a smoking hot HOA, but
they finally decided to go back to live meetings versus virtual. With the virtual, we were able to, you start at 6:30 and it's got to be done by 7:30 because Zoom says you only get so much time. And so it was like,
and so are they cracking down on your Legos? They said not that many Legos in one house. That's our
no.
I would just be careful, or you on the board so you can shut down people that are trying to do some stuff.
That's
you
right.
You want what? Not today.
You want me to do what? Come on.
And of course, David Furr is also in charge of the Literary Legion, which is the people that write the articles for geeknewsnow.net. You might be familiar with Geek News Now. It's what made all of this possible. Geeknewsnow.net's where to go. David's in charge of all of that. Now, our last person here today, last but not least, or maybe least, what do you think? No, not least.
Depends on the day.
Right down there under me, I've chosen that specifically. I didn't choose that. Is Jonathan. John Heil, you are the leader. You're your own leader. Right?
I mean, I'm part of the Geek News Now AV club, AV team.
I mean, you're under the umbrella of Geek News Now.
Sure,
but you've got your own show going on. What is that?
I do. I am one of the hosts of the Captain's Logs and Lightsabers podcast. We talk about Star Wars and Star Trek and, sometimes some other geeky stuff because, everyone loves a well-rounded nerd, right?
Yes. Yes, they do. Sorry. I'm just stroking my Yoda while I said yes to that. No, you're absolutely correct. So Captain's Logs and Lightsabers, also great name, by the way. I love the name of it. And I'm not a huge Star Trek person myself, but I'm a huge Star Wars person. And I've listened to some of your shows and I learn a lot no matter what I'm a fan of. And I love listening to it. So we're very glad to have you on today to talk about Marvel, which is a bit outside of that. So you get to have some fun and talk about something you don't normally talk about.
That's right. It's again nice to be a well-rounded nerd every once in a while.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, it's not to say that you don't know about anything outside of that. Like I host MCU Mondays, but clearly there's a Yoda there. Like we know.
That's your signature, though.
Anyway. We're here for MCU Mondays. We're very excited to have our special guest, Jonathan, from I said Lightsabers and Log Wars.
That's going to be our debut album.
Let's have the theme song go, and then we'll be ready to talk about some Moon Knight shenanigans.
Theme song guy.
Oh yeah!
Oh, here we are. And let's stop playing the air drums. We're ready to go here. I thought episode 1 of Venom in Bandages was pretty good. Okay, he's already talking about Moon Knight. I'm gonna come back to that comment. But before we jump into Moon Knight, because we're gonna go full on Moon Knight the rest of the episode, all right? But a couple people, and this is MCU adjacent. It's Marvel. It's Sony, Marvel. Morbius has come out. I haven't seen it yet. David has not seen it yet. But Debbie and John have. So I want to hear spoiler-free your thoughts on the good, bad, what, don't give away the ending, don't give away stuff, but tell me what you thought about it. Let's start with our special guest, John.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie. I'm kind of right where, right in the middle. I came into the movie just for Matt Smith, and he got 2 of the 2.5 stars that I give it. The other half goes to me not wanting to hate Jared Leto because this is...
Not wanting to hate him. It's like the movie wants you to hate him, but I don't want to do that. All right. I won't do it. Tell me more. I know that's a popular thing to do, by the way, is to hate Jared because of his run as the Joker in Suicide Squad. And so people love piling on to that, even though that necessarily wasn't his fault.
I thought he was redeemed pretty well in Snyder Cut, so I had no problems with his Joker. No, I have problems with his role in House of Gucci. Oh, so cringeworthy.
But Morbius, you said.
I mean, I was not
bad.
Yeah, not
good,
bad,
so...
not good. It was about half a good movie. I don't know. I thought the special effects were really rough. I thought some of the CGI work was very, very, very bad, especially in one moment towards the beginning of the film. Again, I don't want to give it away, but it looked really, really bad. Again, I showed up just for to see what Matt Smith was going to do, and I wasn't disappointed, so that's why I gave it the rating I did.
All right. So I want to get some comments in there. Jonathan is my fave, well-rounded. I think he meant to say nerd, but maybe he meant to say he needs that. So I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Oh, wait. Jonathan is my fave, well-rounded nerd. Okay, so yes, it was nerd. I saw it, and now I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do my best. And we got Grant here as well. Hey, guys, how are you all? Come on, Debbie. Some Morbius news, please. Well, Debbie, I think that signifies it's your turn to tell us about some Morbius. Not Mosbius. Not Mosbius. You're a fan of How I Met Your Mother.
Have you met Ted?
Have you met Ted? No, this is Morbius. Jared Lee. Have you met Jared? As a vampire, as a anti-hero. What'd you think, Debbie? What'd you think? Spoiler free. What'd you think of Morbius?
I enjoyed it. Was it mind blowing? No, because once again, Sony.
Oh.
How they tend to screw movies up. But I thought it was a good origin story.
So
and I thought Jared did fine. I had no problems with Jared in this role. Matt Smith, in my opinion, pretty much stole the show.
You're not wrong.
I think that's you said 2 of your 2.5 stars came from Matt Smith, right? So
Yes.
Continue on,
Absolutely.
Debbie. Continue on.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't once look at my watch, which is my indicator of if I'm bored or this movie sucks or whatever. I never once did that. I enjoyed it. There were some issues. I usually don't notice the CGI stuff. People say stuff like that, and I'm like, I didn't see it. But then again, I'm blind as a bat because I'm old. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Would I go see it again? No, I will when it comes back on, Disney Plus. Or no, I guess it won't. Wherever it comes out, Netflix,
a Spider-Verse, a Sony, yeah.
The
Sony
2
decides.
end credit scenes were interesting.
So there's 2 end credit scenes. See, I don't know about it. I haven't seen it. And there's 2 end credit scenes, and those are interesting.
I thought they were.
Are those better than the movie? Is it like I'd rather just have seen those end credit scenes?
From what I've read, a lot of people were really confused, and I don't know why they were confused.
Interesting.
I was just like, well, kind of makes sense to me, but
all right. Well,
and again, I'm stupid, so
I don't want to go into spoilers here today. So next week, whether I've seen it or not, I'll do my best to see it by then. David, you should try as well, even despite these reviews. But next week we're going to have a full-on spoiler talk about that, as well as talking about the next episode of Moon Knight. So that'll probably take precedence, I got to imagine, because this is MCU Mondays, and while Sony has access to Spider-Man content, that's about it for them. And so we're mostly here talking about the larger MCU, the connected universe, the Marvel universe that is happening. So that's what we're going to be talking about today with Moon Knight.
Hey!
Random bullshit go. We've all seen that by now. We're off.
Indeed.
Let's be honest. This is why you really came here this evening was to hear this talk.
That's why everyone said it was about Moon Knight, and all of a sudden Morbius. Boo! Boo! Talk about Moon Knight. We've heard your cries, and we're answering them. Moon Knight. I want to hear general. First episode is out. Overall thoughts on the first episode. All right, we're going to get into specifics as we go along, but what I want to hear from you guys is your overall general good, bad, good start, bad start, not what I wanted, ties to the comic, whatever you think, but overall before we get into the specifics. So we'll start again with our special guest, John. John, tell me what you thought about this first episode overall of Moon Knight. Just kind of like your...
Man, overall, I think this was probably the strongest first episode of any of the MCU series on Disney Plus, and it's such an obscure character. I mean, if you would have told me 10 years ago when we first started getting the MCU movies that we were going to get something with Moon Knight, let alone a series, I would say you were absolutely crazy because
shut up and take my money.
He does that.
I do that.
What'd you do to me?
I shut up and take my money. Continue.
I never thought that would happen. So I was going into the series with kind of bated breath and low expectations. I wasn't sure how weird Disney Plus was, and the MCU was willing to get. And aside from some potential changes to the character and some of his identities, I think they pulled it off fantastically.
And we're going to talk more about those changes and those identities as we go talk about this episode. I want to hear more about that. But your overall thoughts are great start, right? Good start? Absolutely. Okay. Debbie, actually, let's go to David because I think he hasn't had a chance to talk yet.
I haven't.
So He's adamant too. So
Listen to this.
You know
Batman.
what? You know what? Moon Knight to me, Moon Knight was great. I thought the first episode was honestly, it started off and I'm like, I'm so confused as to exactly what's going on.
Perfect.
But then as the show ended, I'm like, I'm supposed to be confused. Oh, that just made it better. Okay, I got it now. I'm tracking.
Okay, good.
So
that was the emotion they were trying to get me to feel, and I felt that.
And
emotion.
I felt it. And I was like, okay, good. Hey,
it means it's working.
They're doing something right.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain. Well, not a lot necessarily. I know the show that said it's been review bombed after like the first episode, but like I could see why people would not like this, because Debbie, I want to let you go first. Let me hear your thoughts, your overall opinion on the first episode. Good, bad, blah blah blah. What do you think?
I thought it was a very good first episode. I think it was meant to make you feel as off balanced as Steven does throughout the show. Did a wonderful job doing that, because the first time I watched it, I was like, what the hell's going on? I mean,
which is exactly what his characters feel. I love it. Yeah. No, what you guys are all saying is perfect, because that's what his character is feeling. And as you like being a watcher of, that's how you should feel, unless we're supposed to know everything, but we're clearly not. That's supposed to come. We're supposed to learn this the same as his character does.
Right. Well, and I think this episode in particular, I don't think it'll be true throughout the whole series. I think this was Steven's point of view.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know if next week will be Mark Spector's point of view, or if it's going to be one of the other alters.
And see, Debbie, that's wonderful, because you've just brought us into the larger world of Moon Knight, which most people, if they're not fans of Moon Knight, they don't know anything about Moon Knight, if they've just watched the episode, they probably have no idea what Mark Spector even means, other than the fact that they kept referring to Steven as Mark, other people, during. So before we get into the nitty gritty of it, I'm also going to just throw out my 2 cents on the overall episode. I watched it today for the first time. I got hit with such heavy mallets of nostalgia from Fight Club and Memento that I almost lost my mind, but I loved it. I loved not knowing where I was in time. I loved not knowing where I was in space. I loved not knowing, because he doesn't know. How did I get here? And he's dealing with that wherever he is. It's not like suddenly you're here and like the character knows where he is, and now we're like following the character and he knows what's going on, but we don't as the audience. No, nobody knows what's going on. It's awesome. And then that literally leads up to near the end of the episode when he's like fleeing from Ethan Hawke's character in the museum. It's like, shit, he's real, blah, blah, blah. And like, all of this, the entire episode, we're like, where are we? What are you? Who are you? And what are those voices? And we still don't have answers for all that. We have no answers. That's a great first episode. Confuses you. It gives you your basic setup. Hey, museum, Egypt exhibit, this guy. But beyond that, it's like, good luck. And I think that's awesome. So that's my go-to on it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What did you think of his bedroom setup?
Kinky.
I was
well said, Debbie.
Debbie,
one.
My
Debbie,
brain was going to the exact
I
same
like
way.
shackles. I'm just saying.
Look. The whole time Steven was talking about, maybe, you can't have a shackle on your bed. I'm like, dude, embrace the kink, man. Embrace it.
I like that scene from the trailer, which is one of the only scenes. I mean, most of the stuff from the trailers has been in that first episode, pretty much.
I think that's the way that they've all been. All the shows is they'll give you They'll
one
give
of the
you a
only
little
things
tidbit or two that's later on, but for
one of the only things I seen from the trailer that hasn't, or stuck out to me the most was when he like jumps out of his bed and tries to like flee out of it, and he gets caught by his like ankle guard. And I think maybe that's going to happen in like the next episode or so.
Yeah, that was in the promo for next week.
Yeah, there you go. So like, and that probably means his identities are more coalescing, there's more that he's going to figure out, which in this episode, the other identities were calling him an idiot and telling him to stop looking. Like,
we threw the gun away.
Shut up. Like, yeah, like a lot of the things are like, hey, you're an idiot. Hey, shut up. Hey, stop it. And it's like, imagine if that was your life. Like, if you're just going around doing your absolute best, but every time you wake up, there are voices in your head telling you you're a piece of shit, and the blood on your hands is, I don't even like. That's awesome. It's so cool because like Batman knows what he's doing. He's like, I am Batman, and Bruce Wayne is my secret. This guy's like, what's happening?
And can we just give F. Murray Abraham all the credit in the world for that, that portrayal of Khonshu? Like, I had goosebumps every time I heard him, speak. It was fantastic.
Expand on that a little bit. I don't think people know exactly what you're talking about. So one of the voices is what you're talking about?
Yeah. So Khonshu may or may not be the Egyptian moon god. And that's one of the voices that we hear. That's the one that always calls him, oh, the idiot's in charge here. Again, that's Khonshu.
And so that's a separate identity from the Mark Spectre and a separate identity from the
He's the god
Steven.
deity.
Yes.
Debbie, tell us more. Lay it out, because I know you've done some research. Tell me about the different identities of Moon, because from this first episode, I don't know anything about Moon Knight, by the way, other than he's got multiple personalities. And
this is totally, just basing it off of the first episode, this is totally different from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Comics have been around since 75, I think 75, 76. And each time they did a reboot, sometimes he had his powers, sometimes he didn't. Mark created these, say, alter egos or whatever you want to call them, identities, because he was a mercenary. And the way he came about becoming Moon Knight was he got beat the crap out of him and was left for dead in the desert. Ended up at the altar of Khonshu, and Khonshu made a deal with him to seek out vengeance, basically. And in the beginning,
I'm vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they changed
Riddler! Go on.
They changed his character up because he was compared to Batman, because the Stephen Grant character, which is the one we see in the first episode, he's a playboy millionaire or billionaire.
Which he clearly is not in this show.
No, they won't even let him be a tour guide in the museum.
He's kind of a
you're a gift shop guy.
No one even remembers his name, which I was kind of wondering, is that a part of his telling people different names, or is that just a part of like this personality or this person that he actually is just so that like people don't even bother to remember his name? And yet then, hey, that's the perfect what's the perfect secret identity? A billionaire who everyone's like, that's Bruce fucking Wayne, or this guy who people can't even remember his damn name.
Marvel's famous for changing things up from the comics, and
DC changes everything. Everybody changes.
Yeah, they do.
You have to change to what's going to play best to the audience. And if you throw out, if you make Stephen Grant the billionaire playboy, Debbie, all he's going to get is compared to Batman in the show, and that's not
Especially
a good look for them.
Moon Knight, Batman, bats come out at night, the moon, the
gargoyles,
the jumping. It's literally also just a photo negative of Batman if you take it away. All right, everybody calm down. All right, we get it. We get it. We get it. These different to the MCU and DC have been ripping off of each other for their entire
For years.
existence. Yes.
Forever.
And actually, before they were actually even what they were, they gobbled up other comics independent, and now they're the two. Yeah, and so there are plenty of on either side. Hey, that's clearly a ripoff of. Hey, that's clearly a ripoff of. Forget about it. Just enjoy what we've got. Okay.
Well,
And
I think they'll keep the Mark Spector character pretty true to form because he was a boxer, he was a Marine, ended up being a mercenary, which is why
I think he was referred to as a mercenary in the show at some point.
Someone did call him a mercenary, and that was Steven was like, what are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. So that's what I wanted to ask you now, everyone. Is Steven's mother alive?
No.
I don't believe that she is.
Everyone says no.
There's no way.
Unilateral now. That bitch is dead. Okay.
And the only
deader than his original goldfish.
The only
All
reason
right, tell me why. Tell me why.
The only reason I say that is because I just got done watching Reacher on Amazon Prime, and they had it was amazing. It was great. But they had the one cop character who he would call his wife every day, and he was like, "Well, you keep calling her. You're divorced? Why are you calling her?" And oh, we're not divorced. She died several years ago, and I just call her voicemail to listen to her voice. And so I'm like, okay, it's the same thing that's going on over here. So
we got Emily here said,
I agree.
I'm thinking Mark is sending Steven those postcards. So the other identity is sending him those postcards to keep that identity from realizing exactly what's going on. And that's like what's so screwed up is that his other identities are actively screwing with him. like you are the worst, man. Get out of here. If one of our other identities could take over, we could handle this situation. But the idiot's in control now. And that's something that you only kind of get by the end of the episode if you have no other understanding of Moon Knight, which I think is kind of one of the best ways to go into this. It's just like, huh? I love it. Waking up at different places, shutting down, and then waking up minutes later with people passed out around you or dead around you with blood on your hands. And like a minute ago, you were scared of them, and now they're all dead. But like, now it's you. What do you do now? Because you're here. You didn't do the killing, but you're here now. So what do you do? And he's like, I'm going to run.
And that was so good, too. When he was in that truck, and the guy was sneaking up on him with the gun and everything, and all of a sudden he blacks out, and the next thing you know, the guy's out.
And then he looks in the back, and the guy's dead with like a gunshot in his head, and he falls out the back. It's like, what happened in between there? Something awesome. Something awesome, I bet. And I think that's what we're going to see in future episodes is that awesomeness happening, because had that it end is literally him in a room with a bunch of mirrors. And even up before that, it was kind of leading up before that, you could see in mirrors, which I loved, by the way, that the things that he didn't necessarily reflect in the mirrors. Like he would turn away and the mirror would keep looking at him, the mirror version of himself, even in like his bathroom at that one point. So then it gets to that final point where he's in like the public restroom and there's all the mirrors, and then it's him talking to himself. But it's like,
really you got to let me take over.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna help. From watching the first episode, my idea is we're gonna figure out more of these identities from like that. This is the first time that he's willingly given control to another identity, and now he's gonna know those identities exist. Clearly, he had an idea that something was happening. Maybe night terrors, maybe something like he had taped up he had very many things in place, but it's also clear that these things are happening anyway. And so I can't wait to see how his Steven character deals with these other characters. I'm very excited to see that. What do you guys think about that?
Well, the reflection, there's a lot of reflections going, and I'm not speaking of seeing the other characters, but there's a lot of reflections going on during the whole show. We get the reflections from the puddles in the street. We get reflections from the mirrors and from the stuff in the museum. I mean, there's just reflections all over the place,
which is awesome. Which is also very hard to do when you're filming things because any reflection off of like my glasses, for instance, they reflect the screen. If I were actually filming something for professional, they'd be like, okay, we need to put some hairspray on those glasses because that can fog up the reflections, because then they might actually see the reflection of the cameras in the glasses, depending on which angle you're shooting from. To do that many reflection type scenes, that's not easy.
Do you think that was accomplished in frame or post production?
A little bit of both, for sure.
Say, yeah,
I think the general idea is you do as much as you can. You do as much as you can when you're shooting it, because you shouldn't rely on post effects to prove your point. That's the general filming technique. But at the same time, we're living in an age where, well, we're going to have aliens and spaceships, so how do we film those? All right, so here's a scene that's just going to be, So when you have an opportunity like this to do all those mirrors and stuff, I think you shoot as much as you can practically, and then make up for anything you can't do with special effects. But tell me how you feel about the special effects, because watching this, I was drawn in. I didn't at any point during the show I wasn't at any point during the show did I feel like, ew. I never was like, ew, gross. Because that's how I felt during the original Justice League when that came out, and some of those special effects were happening. You know, like the Joss Whedon Justice League with the. And you were like, ah! There was nothing that horrific.
Wait, I thought the Snyder Cut was the only one that existed. or did I just purge the other one from my memory?
Well, and then the Snyder Cut is just could have been cut down by an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Just cut out the slow-mo. But
yeah.
Unless
I agree. 4 hours was too long.
Yeah.
3 hours was perfect. 4 hours too long.
It was literally, you just cut out the slow-mo and you'll cut it down by that much.
Actually,
every single thing that happens.
If they had followed the formula of giving each one of those individual characters their own individual movies and telling that story, and then doing the big group instead of saying, "Oh, Marvel's already done all of that. We're trying to play catch up at this point."
Yeah, they were. That's the major problem with that. Then there are tons of other. Well, there's no need to break that down. I feel like that's been broken down to death. I will say that the Snyder Cut is better in my opinion, but that's like comparing a really stinky
when did we
piece
become
of shit
DCU
to a
Mondays?
less stinky piece of shit.
We always go off the rails.
Hey,
crazy,
Always.
crazy.
It's okay. We're gonna be all
We
right.
should rename the show Off the Rails, but
Nobody renames the show but me.
You think you're hot in a champagne glass, but you're really cold diarrhea in a Dixie cup.
Who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon?
Are you kidding me? This baby is off the charts. Why?
Oh, a sarcasm detector. Well, that's a really useful invention.
All right. Calm down.
But now, in whatever year this is, the audience wants action and seats with beverage holders, but mainly action.
And I forgot I get to do this because we're on MCU Mondays and that's from Star Wars show. I made that one.
One of those belongs in the trash.
At least. Hey, everybody calm down, all right? Hey.
Right next to a huge steaming bowl of foreshadowing.
We're going to have a good time here. Moon Knight. So, Deadpool, Moon Knight, who's better?
Deadpool.
I don't know yet.
Too early to tell.
I was going to say I can't.
Everyone on the bottom is wrong because they said it's too early to tell, and the correct answer.
Well, we
is
haven't
Deadpool.
seen anything from Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I'm
It
still
doesn't
saying
matter.
The correct answer
It's Deadpool.
is Deadpool.
You remind me of my wife.
I'm sorry?
I said you remind me.
No, I'm sorry that you said that while making heavy eye contact and applying lip balm.
What you should be saying is, how can we get Deadpool and Moon Knight to hang out together?
Is that a fanny pack? I used to have one of those in 1990. Never.
Retrieving something from my utility bag.
It's a goddamn fanny pack, and you know it, you sick son of a bitch. The difference is night and day.
Hey, real quick, I want to give you a heads up. We have tornadoes rolling through our area, so if I duck out of here like real fast and in a hurry,
it's because you're getting down to your basement shelter with the rickety doors. I only know tornadoes from Twister.
We just go out to the back porch. And
I assume that you're going to try and hold those doors closed and then get caught and fly away. And then do you have a daughter?
No.
Well, your son, I guess, will remember that forever. And then he'll be a male Helen Hunt and then have some sort of relationship with a female. And then there'll be a storm chaser. And God bless America, but Philip Seymour Hoffman will be there in some gender or another. Because bring it back. Everything comes back around again. Miss him.
Okay, so Moon Knight, real quick. Did you
Moon Knight? Who's talking about Moon Knight? We're talking about Twisters.
You think the studio would throw us a bone? They can't just dust off one of the famous X-Men. How about that Potts with the giant pigeon wings? What do those do anyway, huh? Carry him 3 feet off the ground to snatch up the nearest muffin crumb? No.
I apologize. I forgot that I had these clips and I started just playing them. You were saying, David, did
you catch the what you call it? The Easter egg in the show. If you go back and watch the show again, and
Moon Knight.
Watch Moon Knight again.
Episode 1.
And at the very first, when he's talking to the little girl about how they did the mummification stuff, to the right or to the left of the mummy case that they're looking at, there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code, and it will give you a digital download of the very first appearance of Moon Knight within the Marvel comic books.
God, the future is just...
Oh, it's beautiful.
I thought you were going to tell me it was an NFT.
Oh.
You get to buy it. Isn't that exciting? Give us more money.
Who are you? I'm Batman.
I thought that was appropriate for Moon Knight.
So digital download.
Digital download. Yes, and
better than it.
My guess would be they're going to try and do this in every episode, to where you'll get for 6 episodes, you'll get 6 different comic books, and it's Moon Knight's first appearance. The Werewolf by Moonlight, I believe, is what the title of it was called.
Typical.
So
something to do with the moon.
Yeah.
Just like Batman's always like jokers. I mean, you think of bats, you think of clowns. Now, David, you said that there's a QR code, and that's how you think there's going to be a QR code in every episode.
Every episode, that's going to be my new mission for the next 5 weeks, is finding the QR code within the episode.
Finding the QR code, and when you find it, are you going to do a little dance?
Of course.
What I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the dance I would do. Yeah. I found the QR code.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready for Armor Wars, because if anyone's intelligent at all at Marvel, they'll bring back Sam Rockwell for the Armor Wars.
I've got to ask, because it crossed my mind. What if Marvel approaches Sam Rockwell and says, "We want you to come back for Armor Wars," and Sam Rockwell says, "Not today," or I'm working on something else, I can't do it, and they have to replace him? Then what do you do?
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Stark. Give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass.
It's not Marvel's fault. Marvel's
now go away. Thank you.
So we gotta get these bitches out of here.
And you tell me who's behind this. Who's behind this?
We gotta get these bitches out of here.
Let the record reflect that I observed Mr. Hammer entering the chamber, and I am wondering if and when any actual expert will also be in attendance.
I don't need an argument. I've got all these clips.
How you supposed to get a head in there? Jack, could you put your head in there? No. Try to put your head in there. No, go ahead. Try to put your head in there. See, Ivan, he can't put his head in there. That's not a helmet. It's a head.
So, John, I want to hear your thoughts on bringing back Sam Rockwell for Armor Wars.
I mean, Sam Rockwell is a genius. I haven't seen anything with him that I haven't liked, so he was probably the best part of Iron Man 2. So, yes, bring him back. Get back that dump truck up.
And now it's a situation where the person that he was playing off of is now gone. Tony Stark is gone. The person that he was constantly the foil of, the, hey, this guy can't do it as well as this guy, blah, blah, blah. Tony Stark is gone. Who's going to buy up all that stuff? Who do you think? That guy. And he says, I'll be back. He says, one of the last things he says.
You're starting to think like a CEO, taking out the competition. I like that.
You think you're making a problem for me? I'm gonna make a problem for you. I'm gonna be seeing you again real soon.
And the beauty in that statement is that everything he ever says is like wrong. So I'm going to be seeing you again real soon. It hasn't been soon, but he will be seeing you again. And he'll be just as crazy and ridiculous as he ever has been. And it'll be fantastic. And we're all, I think everyone ever.
Are you gonna do this? Give me something here. You're like a sphinx. I can't read you.
Do you speak English? Because I can get a translator. I don't know. Have you been understanding everything I'm saying?
Very good, man.
Very good, man.
Very good.
You dig what I'm getting at here?
Слишком много говоришь.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian!
Each set of drones is communicating in its own unique language.
We'll choose one and focus on that.
Have you tried Russian? Why don't you try Russian?
Have you tried Russian?
Sure, Russian. I'm not going to play any more clips for a while. I want to hear some more thoughts. But Sam Rockwell should be brought back for Armor Wars. I completely agree. Moon Knight, that's what we're here to talk about, I think. I was taken over by one of my alternate personalities, and that's why I just played
it was
Sam
so he was channeling Sam Rockwell.
I
want my board.
A great bird.
It's a beautiful.
We got this all the way from Russia.
Hey man, this is not my board.
Is that your bird? I'm confused. You said it wasn't, but now it looks like you're best of pals. You love that bird, don't you? You know what? Take the bird.
Take his boots, too.
I took your stuff. I bet you didn't like that, did you? No. Yes. Anyway, I said we were going to get past that stuff. I wasn't going to play anymore. I lied.
You lied.
I'm a liar.
Kiff, we have a conundrum.
So anyway, Moon Knight. What do we think is going to be happening in the next episode? Or actually, I want to hear your thoughts before we go talk about the next episode, theories about that. I want to hear your thoughts about Ethan Hawke.
Why did he put glass in his shoes? I'm trying to figure that one out.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
All I could think of was that stupid Annie Lennox song from the early 90s. walking on broken glass.
Walking on broken glass. And then he's got a cane too, and it's like,
yeah, it's like if you wouldn't walk on the glass, you wouldn't need the cane.
Yeah,
it's on.
But then again, he also does this weird thing where he rocks people's hands together, and there's a cane, and the cane has a purpose because it chooses who lives or dies. I don't know what's going on with any of that. Does anyone here know?
Oh, Debbie knows.
Debbie's got this.
Yeah, Debbie, go ahead. Tell us what's going on.
Oh, that's not right. No.
Sam Rockwell. Go on, Debbie.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
No,
Yeah, you can talk now.
no, now it's not because you said that. Never mind. Everybody, shut up. Except, actually, Debbie, go ahead.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Mephisto confirmed. Debbie, tell us more about Ethan Hawke's character, because I don't know anything about it other than he walks on glass and then he let him go near the end of the episode. Who is this guy? What is he doing? What's going on?
He's kind of like a cult leader, and the walking on the broken glass in his sandals is like him proving to himself that he can embrace the pain, and basically he worships the entity, god entity of Amit or Amut. There's two different variations of the name, and that entity has a crocodile head, or maybe it's an alligator crocodile head, hippopotamus, and I don't know. It's made up of 3 or 4 different animals.
Yeah, most of the gods of the Egyptians were man-shaped, but with the heads of beasts or with body parts of beasts.
And the cane has 2 alligator crocodile heads on it. So the scales on his arm,
which also change as he's literally
judging people.
Yeah,
judging. Well, that's what Amit does. Well, they've kind of changed the mythology a little bit, but basically for the purpose of this show,
go on.
He is wanting to rid the earth of sinners and evildoers.
Classic
So-
compulsion. And also, guess what? Whoever is a sinner, I judge who's a sinner. Hey, boop, boop, ba-doop, boop, ba-doo. It's up to me if you're bad or good. Just like, so the people that he had come up to him while we saw him when Moon Knight was Steven, we see him in the crowd. He's watching the crowd. He gets Ethan Hawke's character has a person come up to him, and it's a man, and they do the swinging thing, and the tattoo changes, and he says, "You're a good man." And he, that guy good. And then a lady comes up, and then they do the same thing, and he goes, "You're."
Not
He
so
doesn't
much.
say like you're gonna die, blah blah blah. And then she says, though, "I've been a good person my entire life," and he goes, "Maybe it's something you were gonna do." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's a crazy thing."
Yeah,
And,
Amit does the past, future.
So
present.
that old lady was apparently going to do something so destructive. But also, how
it
could
was
you
Minority
know about?
Report. It was
how
a
could you
Minority
know about
Report.
everyone if you're only judging one person? Blah blah blah. And then if you just judge that, so there's a lot of different things that I think could be going on there. But absolutely, and that's also a way that he could feel. Ethan Hawke's character could feel like he's doing the right thing. You know what I mean? We have this character Moon Knight who doesn't even know what he's doing or isn't even aware of what he's doing, and then we have Ethan Hawke's character who is aware of what he's doing and believes what he is doing is the right thing. John, what are your opinions on this?
I do not know enough about the character other than the references made in the episode. So Amit obviously is some sort of Egyptian god of justice, right? And right and wrong, wanting to punish sinners. I have no idea on this one. I am way out of my league on knowing this character, and really, my knowledge of Moon Knight is honestly very surface level.
Mine as well.
In the comics, he was a very B-side character, even though he's been around since 76.
75.
Whatever.
I think I
76,
looked
75.
Boom!
What's a year?
Eclipse, baby! Whoa!
August 1975 was.
So long, Earth. Thanks.
If I could, I'd slap you, but
Oh,
ow!
God! Is it possible? It must be possible. It's happening. By the way, what's happening?
What?
I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know about this. No, I think a lot of people, especially, people that are involved in the MCU, a lot of the people that are watching these Marvel things, these Disney Plus things, are not necessarily like comic professionals. They don't know the backstory. They don't know this, that, and the other thing. The only people who are going to be angry if they change stuff are people that have known things for a very long time.
But that's why Marvel changes them, because they don't want the shows or the movies to be predictable, because what fun is that?
But at the same time, are they changing them all that much?
Well, the author character in the comics was a doctor who did human experiments on.
How do we know in another episode that we're not going to meet Dr. Moon Knight, the experimenter of... That's just another personality. There's limitless potential.
That's going to be Jake
from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm.
Jake Apex.
Jake Lackley is his other alter, and I think he will be Mr. Moon Knight. That's my prediction.
You even know about another personality that hasn't been introduced in the show yet.
That we know of.
I have done my research, Chris.
She has notes. Watch it. She took notes.
I always have notes.
Well, we should. Then why am I leading the discussion? Look at all these notes. I don't know what I'm talking about.
When you ask questions, I can look and say, "Hey, I know," because what? I did my research.
Yeah, and then you know what I have to say? Well done. Oh my gosh, it was a compliment. No one was expecting it. Everyone was like, that's going to be like a... But it wasn't. It was a hey.
Okay, Debbie. Okay,
Thank
let me ask you then. What's the what's the deal with the little scarab that they're they were after?
It probably wasn't it.
Author wants that because that's what's going to bring Amet to life.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, because I kind of thought it was not necessarily something to do with that, but it's important.
Spoiler alert.
It's important enough to where they're looking for it and everybody wants it. So is this going to be like a? I'm looking at like artifacts, because we've got Shang-Chi now, and he had the 10 rings. And they looked at them at the end and they said, we have no idea where these came from. We have no idea what these are, nothing like that. Now
right next to a huge steaming bowl of foreshadowing.
Now you've got the Scarab in Moon Knight. We've seen the previews for Miss Marvel, and we know that her powers aren't like in the comic books where she's stretchy. She's got like these wristbands.
She's got green. She's got...
Well, she's not an Inhuman, according to this new MCU lore.
The Ring of Power. She's got DC ring powers. All right, that's what.
She's got the Green Lantern.
Yeah, she's Green Lantern, but like purple or whatever.
So anyway, so my thought is this going to tie into all of those and kind of tie those together and say, okay, now we've got the tech people, the Iron Mans and the Hulks and the Captain Americas. We've got the magic people with the Doctor Strange crowd. Now we've got these artifact people over here.
I just doubt that this would be the thing that ties it all together. They'd more likely do it in a movie.
Oh, I'm sure they'll do it in a movie.
Oh, it'll be
that way.
Multiverse of Madness
will be something that everyone has to go see, as opposed to Disney Plus, which is something you can. Hey, if you want to know everything, come over and get Disney Plus. I mean, yeah, you can get the gist of it by watching all our movies and blah blah blah. But if you want to know,
I mean, does everybody else
come here?
Is everybody else kind of on the same page with me that Multiverse of Madness is going to kind of be the film that puts everything into motion?
I haven't been saying that for at least a year, but
at least since WandaVision. So it's been over a year.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, I've had to make do with like all kinds of random stuff.
Can't tell you, they'll kill me. Kill you, motherfucker! I'll kill you. I'll just enjoy it better.
It's like yeah, I'm waiting for Blade to come back.
Like he's like you have 20 guys around him. I was there, man. He's got shit he throws at you. Then you like the sword.
Yeah, you got the sword.
Exactly.
Shit, yeah, you can throw it in the air, catch it underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
shut the fuck up.
I've been waiting that long. I want to get Blade in a room with Sam Rockwell. I don't care who they get for Blade, as long as they get that kind of. I want to see them going back and forth.
They already got Mahershala Ali.
Dan, all right, let me ask you this one time. What master do you serve?
What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
No, we're gonna have fun in Multiverse of Madness. People are super upset about like anyone else playing Iron Man, and I'm like, that's the whole point of multiverse.
I've never been more nervous for a film in the MCU than this one.
That's fair.
Well, people are pissed off because it's only 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like,
ranting
not
about that.
every movie has to be freaking 4 hours long.
Especially when it's connected to like 20 other movies. Like, it's plenty long, ladies and gentlemen. Just go watch all the freaking others.
I told
Lord of the Rings had to do it in 3. That's why it took 14 hours, okay? MCU, you've got the whole thing. Trilogies on trilogies, connecting to individual movies, connected to ensemble cast, connected to ensemble cast trilogies. Yeah, calm down. It's plenty long enough. No matter how long, it could be a minute long. If it connects to all the rest of that stuff, it's long enough.
Everybody's happy.
That's what she said.
Oh,
Right? No. I don't know.
Shut up and take my money.
I usually say.
I told Luke that. I said, "Oh, you know, the runtime for this is only 126 minutes. That's like 2 hours and 6 minutes." And he was like, "That's awful short, isn't it?" And I was like, average runtime for a movie is like 2 hours.
God bless you. Yeah.
You've got some of the big ones.
Average runtime for a comedy is 90 minutes.
90 minutes, an hour and a half.
How much time does it take to tell the story you're telling?
I was ready for a nap after the Batman, man.
Well, and honestly,
and
I love that
one. Was a little bit.
I needed a bucket after Batman because I had to go so bad. My bladder was like killing
I'm
me.
used to Lord of the Rings. I knew before I went in. It was so funny because I went to see it with my brother. He didn't know how long it was, and so we're talking to the guy at the concession stand. I wasn't getting anything, and my brother was getting some stuff. And the guy at the concession stand was like, "You ready for 3 hours?" And my brother goes, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like 3 hours long." He was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, how do you not know how long the movie you're going to? I don't know. I guess
we were prepped for Endgame when they came out and said, "Oh, it's like 3 hours and however long, 3 hours and 5 minutes or whatever." We went into that movie thinking, "Okay, don't drink anything like 2 hours prior, and we're gonna go to the bathroom like right in the middle of the previews. We may miss some of the previews, but we're gonna go to the bathroom just so we can make it through."
Yeah, because otherwise, in the middle of the movie, your bowels are going to explode. Can't handle that. Moon Knight. We're about at an hour. I want to circle back to Moon Knight real fast. Talk about that episode 1. So we had, I think, a great opening episode. I think it's a great introduction to the character. Anyone that's complaining about not knowing enough, I mean, it's episode 1 out of how many?
6, I believe.
6.
Yeah.
Not even that. So, like, this is your opener. yes, you're gonna have to wait for the rest to figure out that. I don't know how people aren't understanding that at this point.
Can we talk about the needle drops for a minute in this episode?
Let's do it. Tell me more.
I mean, look, peace and love to James Gunn. He is the resident king of using music well in his projects, but damn, I thought it was brilliant. And just the song when we see him in his loft, it's the Every Day I Wake Up song, and
Every
then
day I wake, yes.
And then in the ice cream truck, it's Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Wake me up before you go. They've got some great, absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that, by the way.
Like, those are some epic needle drops, man. Woo.
And perfect for the situation, which is like wake me up, and he's constantly like waking up in these situations. He's like going to sleep and waking up like within the very situation that he's, and then he wakes up in his bed and he thinks, that's the funniest thing to me in all of it, is that he like wakes up in his bed and he's like, oh well, I'm in my bed.
And then he
all of that was just not, and then he sees he's in the hawk on the bus and he's like, shit, it was real.
Look, I want to see next episode. I want to see his Mark redo all of the tape and the sand and everything, and then he gets into bed and
to see the other personality like redoing it. Wouldn't that be that would be awesome.
That's what I want to see next episode.
I love it, John.
It's gonna happen.
That.
That's my bold prediction.
That's his prediction. That's John's prediction next episode or sometime soon, but probably next episode, because now we've learned about the new character. This first episode was introducing us to the initial character and then kind of showing us that there's more going on here than meets the eye. The next episode could show us exactly how he's getting around these precautions he's already taken. I love it. I want to see that. I hope it's coming up next episode, but I hope it happens at all. Yeah. Any other predictions for next episode before I'll let John, if you have another one, I'll let you go again. But then after that, David, Debbie, anybody else?
I'll just say this: as far as predictions go, I'm glad that they didn't wait until like the last episode to put him in his costume and say, "Okay, now he's found his powers and he knows what he's doing." That would have driven me nuts. I'm glad they. I mean, it was like with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They waited till like the very, very end to put
that show was called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not Captain America and not Captain America.
It should have been.
Which one is which? You'll have to wait till the end to find out.
That's a hot take. No.
So anyway,
it's a sexy take. But yes, I agree with you completely. It didn't take until like the last episode for him to open a case and reveal, there's this is very much in the first, he is this person already, but he doesn't even understand it. That's one of the best parts about it, I think, is that like all the rest of these MCU characters for the most part is them adjusting to their role, like adjusting to the thing that they're accepting that they're doing, finding their place in society with what they're doing. But this guy, with Moon Knight, it's like, I just want to go home and feed my goldfish, but I keep waking up with guns in my hands and driving trucks in countries that I'm not familiar with. So, like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, he doesn't want to be doing that. But then also and that's the great thing. That's how this first episode ends, is like, he doesn't want to be doing any of this stuff. He just wants to live a life and live a normal life. But at the very end, it's like, unless you want to die, let me take over. And then it's like, all right, fine, I'll let you take over. And then it's like, he just punches out some sort of demon dog. I want to know more. I want to know more about this. Do you have special punches? Like, how did the costume happen? Like, is that just in his head? Like, I have many questions, and I'm looking forward to getting the answers. That's why I think this is a really great first episode, in my opinion. And I think we all agree that we're looking forward to seeing more of this, seeing where this goes. especially given that it's leading up to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
It's we're what, less than a month away now, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's
March,
like, hey,
or
let's
May 6th.
Get you a little stirred up. Get you ready.
Yeah.
Get you ready for the madness.
In fact, the weekend it releases is the weekend like right before the last episode of Moon Knight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
That'd be great.
Wow. Wouldn't it be weird if something in the last episode of Moon Knight tied back to Multiverse of Madness and it was...
Hey, Nostra, dumbass. Did the rapture come? I can't recall. Oh, in fact, I can recall, and it didn't, and you suck.
It would be cool if that. I just saved that clip for.
Okay, then that's my prediction. I'm going to predict
There
that
you
something that happens within the Multiverse of Madness will be revealed within the 6th episode of Moon Knight.
So long, Earth.
It'll be great. Well, that's why they go to the moon.
And it'll be Mephisto.
Captain America's
Still
on the
holding
moon.
out for that.
Captain America's on the moon. Moon Knight. British. Captain Britain.
Somebody said something about that.
Patrick Stewart. I can go on.
Somebody
Right?
said something
Go on.
about that on one of the sites that was like, is it just me or did Steven's accent just sound completely fake and all of this other stuff? And I'm like, and somebody commented back, it's like, it is fake. This is an alter personality for him. It's not real. It's not supposed to be real. That's the whole idea.
And I don't think he was supposed to be doing a straight on. I think he was like his parents or whatever supposed to be like partially South African, or and yes, he has multiple personalities, and they're all half of them are fake, so we don't even know the person that we've met, and
his parents were Jewish.
Yeah, the person that we've met and have seen this entire episode and all the relationships he's had, everything like that, that could all just be like a facade that he doesn't even know about. And that's why it's so interesting. And anyone judging this by the first episode, it's like, how could you this is something where you need to see the whole thing. That's like judging Memento by the first
10
20
minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, or whatever. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. And it's like,
What?
Oh, classic Debbie. Grant said, thank you all for the insight to Moon Knight, and of course, a hilarious end to the night. Cheers, good people, and good night. Thank you, Grant, for tuning in.
Thanks, Grant.
I have one thing before we go. It's not necessarily my theory.
It's not necessary. Go on.
But there's a lot of rumors and theories going around that the village where
in fact, it's just in the middle of a real life society, much like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. And that's
but a lot of people think it's Latveria or Latveria, however you say it.
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom, and that the castle was Dr. Doom's castle. But I could have sworn they said, I don't know, I'm not even sure who even said it now, but someone in the show said something about, we were in the Swiss village. But that's not where Doom's castle or island, whatever you want to call it, was at. I guess it's changed over the years in the comics. I mean, it was near Romania. It was near Hungary.
Hungry
hippo.
Right next to a huge steaming bowl of foreshadowing.
Serbia was another one.
Right next to.
So it'll be interesting to see. Well,
look out for Dr. Doom.
In the cupcake van.
On the packages behind him.
Yeah, it says Von Doom.
Von Doom.
What? I missed that.
Oh, I missed
that. That's how you got me.
It does.
Wow.
And I'm here to back her up when she's actually right. So,
which is
Ow.
God, I miss cocaine.
Her. Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
that's why you got both of us here, okay? She looks up the stuff that's real. I wax nonsensical on everything else.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Tell Xavier.
Go fuck yourself.
That's about it for us tonight here on MCU Mondays. Unless anyone has anything else they want to put out there.
Go watch Geek News Now Cantina Happy Hour Thursday nights.
That's the Star Wars show. This is the Marvel show.
I've been meaning to come on one of those.
We will be Revenge of the Sith is this week. So
my favorite of the prequels.
Favorite of the prequels. So
it's a lot of people's favorite overall.
I know,
which is
I wouldn't go that
good
far,
one.
but it's
I know. I didn't say that you would, Debbie. I said it's a lot of people's. Okay, and that's why you come to this show.
I will be talking for myself. This is an open and shut case, and anybody who can't see that is a savage and an idiot.
Okay.
We have our fun.
Okay, it's okay, Chris. It's okay.
I don't believe that it is, and the fact that you're telling me it's okay shouts to me that it's not, and I should fight harder. But we're out of time.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Well, right.
Why don't we just find baby Thanos, and...
First of all, that's horrible.
It's Thanos.
We're calling it a night. I want to thank John Kyle for joining us. Captain's Logs and Lightsabers. Look that up.
Yep. You can find us as part of the Geek News Now podcast feed, so the main feed. I also have my own dedicated feed for just the episodes of Captain's Logs and Lightsabers, so you can subscribe to that. You can find us in any podcatcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. If you want to reach out to me and become one of my internet friends, you can find me at pretty much any of those socials at Just a Disney Geek. If I'm starting to get really involved in Letterboxd, putting up movie reviews and stuff. So follow me there. Follow me everywhere. Just a Disney Geek.
Boom. And of course, we got David on the Thursday night Star Wars show. We got Debbie, who's on every show ever, and is the best.
That's about right.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
That's right, bitch.
And of course, I am just longing to be actually Sam Rockwell. So we'll see you back here next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good.